Welcome to the Seeds of Transformation podcast with Dr. Allma Johnson. You're listening to a special segment called Transplanted, exploring the journeys of those who have received organ transplants, either simultaneously, kidney and pancreas, or singularly, heart, lung, liver. The transplant recipient journey is unique, filled with triumphs, trials, and transformation. In these periodic segments, my guest and I share real experience and faith-driven encouragement to remind you that being transplanted isn't just about surviving. It's about embracing a new life. So let's walk this journey together. Welcome to Transplanted. Hey there, Taylor. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I want to thank you again for joining me here on the Seeds of Transformation podcast. Just want to spread awareness about our journeys as simultaneous kidney and pancreas transplant recipients. So if we can start with just a little bit about who you are, and we'll get into our questions that I have for you today.
Okay. Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm 33 years old. I received my kidney and pancreas transplant 3 years ago in November of 2020. It's 3 years as of November 2024. I received it in November of 2021. I received that at the University of Utah hospital. And yeah, 3 years. So 3 years and going strong so far.
Wow,
So it's been
awesome. Awesome. So if you don't mind, can you take us back to the moment you found out that you needed a kidney and pancreas transplant? What was that
Yeah.
experience like for you,
So
emotionally
I,
as well?
yeah. So I kind of knew that that was the path I was on from the
Mm,
time, I knew my kidneys were going downhill. Well, kind of knew emotionally. I mean, it was terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying to know that that's what you need to go through. But I think emotionally for me, I mean, that was that terrifying factor and the sadness and the regret of like, what could I have done to
yeah,
not get here? But there was also that sense of like, okay, here we're here. This is what I need to do. I have a goal to reach, and it's a do or die type of situation. We have to do what we need to do to get this transplant, to survive and get better so we can continue on. So I think that kind of um, something kicked in for me to really push forward. And instead of feeling super emotional, I think
mhm,
for me, it kind of put something in for me to be really like, okay, here we go. We are on this path and we need to do what we need to do to get back to being healthy and get a transplant.
yeah, absolutely. What was the biggest challenge for you or that you faced during the transplant process? Um, from the beginning to the end, or whatever you want to share. And how did you find strength during that time to overcome it?
I think my biggest challenge was being, well, I was only I was 28 when
Hmm.
I found out that my kidneys were kind of going downhill, and then 30 when I was 30 years old when everything started, when I started dialysis
Mm.
and the transplant list. I had a young daughter at the time. She was only 9, and I'm a single mom and I was working full time. So I think the biggest challenge was kind of trying to maintain
Hmm.
working full time and being a mom to a young daughter and kind of trying to keep up with maintaining, being a full time employee, being a mom, and not letting her down. But I mean, my biggest motivation was her, honestly, my family, her especially, just being there for her, knowing that I need to fight, I need to stay strong, I need to make sure that I get better for her and for myself so we can, go on and I can live longer
Mhm.
and have a longer life for myself and for her.
Absolutely. So the onset or what led you to needing the kidney and pancreas transplant, was that due to type 1
Yes.
diabetes? Okay. How long were
Yeah.
you type 1?
At that point, I had been diabetic for about 23 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I was diagnosed about the age of 7.
Mhm.
So about 23 years. My case was a little bit weird because I hadn't had like a trend of um my GFR going down.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
you know, in like a 3-month period, I went from having normal kidney labs to my kidneys only working at like 50%.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's kind of odd. And I had been tested for everything to kind of determine like if there was an underlying like illness that had caused
Mhm.
something. We never determined what that was. Um, so we don't know what the factor is. So we kind of just determined it was type 1 diabetes.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so it was type 1 diabetes from what we know, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I know for a lot, diabetes is the cause, type 1 at a young age. I was 15 and
Yeah.
have been diabetic for 31 years. So
Yeah,
it does take a toll on the body.
it
And a lot of
does.
people will think, well, are you living healthy? Were you doing this? All of the things in between. It's like, I kid you not. We're doing all of the things, checking my blood sugars, even for myself. But how was it for you prior? What was the blood sugar check like? Your
I mean,
dialysis experience, all of that. What was that like for you?
um, my diabetes care wasn't, I wouldn't say I was a perfect diabetic by any means, but I don't think I was incredibly out of control to where, so it's kind of like when this came about, it was like, whoa, okay, like how did this happen?
Mhm.
Um, but so it was kind of a shock at the same time. Um, But as far as dialysis, I did hemodialysis. I was lucky. I only had to do dialysis in a hole for about 6 months,
Oh,
which
that's
is amazing
awesome. Okay.
compared to a lot of other people's experience. And I chalk that to being young. Um, so I did hemodialysis for about 5 months, and I had a catheter in my chest.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it went fairly well. The only problem is my catheter caused a lot of problems, and I did try to get some fistulas placed,
Yes.
and they didn't ended up not working for me. They
Okay.
never really functioned. Um, and so I did the peritoneal dialysis,
Yes.
and I
Uh-huh.
did that for a month, and that worked pretty well. I didn't mind that so much, but then I got my call, so I
Okay.
only had for a month.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. How has the journey changed your perspective on life, and the
Um,
way you approach everyday life or joys or challenges, just every
yeah.
day?
So I think since this happened is that I've realized that things can change
Oh,
very quickly. Um, like I said, with my kidney function, how fast it changed within 3 months.
mm,
Just had labs to not. It's just things can happen so fast. So you really have to enjoy your time and, you know, enjoy the people you're around, love the
mm-hmm,
people around, and really do things that you enjoy. Don't put things off.
mm,
Enjoy the things. If you want to do something, you should do it.
yes,
You should take the time off and, don't stress about things.
yes,
Really, and that's, I'm still, even to this day, trying to figure that out. Like, there's things like, oh, I really would love to do that. And it's like,
Yeah.
why not doing that? Like,
Hmm.
I want to do that. I'm going to do that actually.
Yeah, you're going to do
So,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's great
because,
to hear.
you know, what
Yeah,
if this happens? What if that happens? Things
mhm.
aren't promised, and it's good not to take things for granted, because you may be okay right now, but you never know, and you should enjoy things while you can. And that's definitely what I've taken out of this journey, and what I continue to do.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. I absolutely agree with you. Just live life to the fullest. Yes, we do have to have that that balance as well. I never recommend anyone to just jump out there and do whatever, but there is a balance, but don't hold
Yeah.
back. Just do it. Just go ahead and do it. I've heard some of the advice that you would give to someone who's currently in our position, already have been transplanted. But what advice would you give to someone who is currently waiting for that transplant or navigating a similar path as ours? They're on that transplant waiting list. The list is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's waiting for that transplant?
um, my advice is, um, you can do hard things.
Hmm.
For telling myself that often. You feel like kind of like a pincushion,
Yes.
or or like an experiment sometimes, but
Hmm.
you hard things. Um, don't give up hope. I know sometimes you don't feel good, and the waiting game, and sometimes, but don't give up hope, because it's coming. You
Yes.
never know, and it's coming. Just, you know, but and most importantly, take care of yourself.
Yes.
It's okay to put yourself first. And then allow people around you to help you. I had a hard
Mm.
time with that, but especially with my daughter. My family, my family was my biggest support, and they were always willing, to take her, and, let her have some fun,
Yeah.
and just kind of, let people help you and take care of you, and take care of yourself, and try to enjoy what you can. If you're not feeling good, take that time to rest,
Yes.
but still try to enjoy things. If you're feeling good, try to enjoy things, and don't, you're in a situation that is unfortunate, and, frankly sucks sometimes, but still try to enjoy what you can, and know that you're going to get there. You're going to be in a better situation soon. So just
Absolutely.
enjoy until you're there.
Yes. Yeah, that time is coming. And this is also good advice. Thank you for sharing that, Taylor, for someone else on a similar health battle journey. Um, Now that you've been given this second chance, what's your vision for the future, and how do you hope to inspire others with this story, with your journey, with your story?
Yeah. So my vision, is definitely, I mean, I'm 3 years out, but I'm still working on healing and getting better.
Hmm.
Um, well, I think while I was in the process, I mean, I feel like I held back a lot of emotions during that
Uh-huh.
time, a lot of the trauma.
Hmm.
And so now I'm trying to kind of, work through it,
Yeah.
and work through some of that. And, there is a lot of stuff after that you're going to, you experience, that you have to work through. And you do trade a lot of, problems from before, and you get newer problems, and you have to learn to live in kind of a new
Yes.
body. Um, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm working through that, living in kind of this new body with new
Hmm.
medications and this new mindset. But again, my vision is just, again, enjoying things. This is my new chance. Learning to just, be a new, enjoy this new chance at life,
Yeah.
enjoying the things that I can, and not taking for granted what I have now, because again, things can change. Just because I'm healthy now doesn't mean that can't change, but just taking care of what I have
Yes.
and just making sure I stay healthy and take care of me. Because if I don't take care of me, this can all go away. So I do have to put myself in a top priority and
Oh,
make sure I'm
yes.
healthy and take care
That's
of
that's so
people
important.
around.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. You do have to, it sounds a bit selfish, and you being a mother too. But if you're not first priority, you won't be there. You can't do what you need to do for your daughter. So I'm so glad you said that. That is so important. I felt a little selfish at times myself. I said, but Alma, you got to put yourself first before anything or anyone. Because if you
I,
don't, oh my
I
God,
felt like
it's
saying that, but then I've run myself ragged in the
mm,
past, just kind of doing so much. And then I'm like, and then I don't feel well. And then I can't do the things I need to do and take care of the people I need to take care of and the
mhm.
things I need to take care of. So I'm like, I need to rest. I need to make sure I'm eating and drinking right and doing the things
Yes.
I need to do so I have the energy and the health to be there and do what I need to do. So if you let me take care of me, I can take care of you.
Yeah, and that has to do with taking care of yourself. And I don't know about you,
Yes.
but I still wear my mask now. And I will have some pushback sometimes where I go, it's like, you don't need a mask. And it's like, without going through the whole spiel that I'm a simultaneous kidney and pancreas transplant, I'll just say, hey,
Yeah.
I just need to wear my mask today. And I just keep going. But that's part of prioritizing you. So again, thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing your journey
Yes.
and sharing, it's still something that is out there that we can all achieve. The medication, the water intake, all of the things is manageable. So I thank you for joining
Yes.
me. You've been listening to the Seed to Transformation podcast, and this was Transplanted, a special segment dedicated to the triumphs, trials, and journeys of those who have received organ transplants. These segments will come periodically as my guest and I continue to bring real stories and encouragement along the way. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs hope. And remember, stay connected, stay strong, and keep embracing this new chapter in your life. Because being transplanted isn't just about a second chance, it's about truly living your life. Until next time, stay well, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward.